gentlemen, the Uncutt Podcast.
Oh, there he is.
Woo!
Oh, are we adding a woo this week?
I do what I feel I should do. It's like
you just let the moment take you, huh? Wait, here it comes. There it is. There it is. God. Your boy, the Ace Nick White, is here with Roberto Cutthroat. He's over there this week because I don't know where to point. I fucked it up like 5 times. That was horrible. I almost want to restart, but I'm not gonna. So
you're in a different space today. I
love
your wall.
I'm in a whole different room tonight. I decided to change things up. Robbie
Robbie
added a woo. I added a white wall. I don't know.
People don't realize this, and I'm gonna like tear the curtain down, dude. He's actually green screening that wall.
No, I only green screen a towel bar. I don't know why. Anyway, 5 people that watch this show are going to get that reference. Anyway, dude, big week in wrestling, huh?
Huge, super huge. You know, all these anticlimactic promises by Tony Khan of these big announcements, dude, finally delivered. You know,
this was a big one. Ring of Honor being purchased by AEW. And I like that they didn't just like immediately go, and we're killing it and stealing everybody. There's a lot of open stuff. There's a lot of questions that are going to be answered, which is going to be cool. So,
well, yeah, like to the casual fan, you know, they might say like, what's the big deal? But you know, there's like you were talking about before the show, dude. There's a lot of like movement in this possibilities.
For sure, dude. I mean, is it going to be a developmental? Is it just going to get fucking eaten alive? Who knows? I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how things go. But that is another conversation for another time.
Oh, maybe our guest later on, maybe he'll have some.
Dude, I'm sure we'll probably ask Jeez how he feels about it. I got to thank my dude Ricky Valero from the Music City Drive-In Podcast Network for hooking this one up for us, man. One, he knows I'm a huge fan of this guy. I was telling, I'll openly admit, I mark out every week, but I marked a little harder this week. I've been watching Black Jeez since I was like 20-something years old, just learning what indie wrestling was. That there was more than just Memphis out there. So this is super cool with me. Shout out to the Music City Drive-In Podcast Network. Shout out to the boys of the indie movement, including TJ Vegas, who made this badass video for our guest tonight, Black Jeez.
Yeah. I got this. I'ma keep the toolie cocked. Set the Mac on full blast, full pop. Target at the nose and it don't stop. Seeing full eyes red, bloodshot. 9 to 10 shed, puppy in the dog pile. Reminiscing black caddy parked outside with a simple mission. Quiet, listen, let the dogs out. Never put your guard down. We let them bark now. You seen the king, all eyes on me. Riding through the city with my hat low. Kevlar, Mac blows. Niggas ain't looking for no heat. Got a belly feeling brave in the street. Get amazed when they see it, so they peek. All eyes on me. Through your city with my hat low, Kevlar, Mac blows. Watch what you say when you speak. Got a nigga looking dead in the street. I repeat, I'm my 6'3", screaming, all eyes on me.
Yeah, dude, that was a great video.
Dude, Vegas killing it every week. Jeez, man, it is an honor to have you on the show.
Welcome, yo, man, thanks for having me, man. Yo, that video was fire, man. I like that, John, man. That's real dope.
Dude, TJ does that shit every week, man. Every week he kills it a little bit more than the last. It'll be up on our Twitter and TikTok later. If you want me to send it to you, I definitely will.
Yeah, definitely. I like that, John.
Dude, he's killer, man. So I always start with the same question, man. What was the moment you knew you wanted to be in the wrestling business?
I can't remember the exact moment, but I used to watch it all the time as a kid. I used to watch it with my grandma, and I don't know, as far as back as I can remember, I wanted to be a wrestler, man. And like when I was younger, I was into WWF, you know what I'm saying? I was a Hulkamaniac like every kid, you know what I'm saying? But then once I started watching NWA, I was definitely hooked because NWA felt like it was real compared to like WWF. It just seemed like real cartoonish. You know what I'm saying? And then once I got my hands on New Japan, that was it. I was set. That's all I wanted to do. Be a wrestler or an actor. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the best of both worlds now because it's because what we doing is acting. You know what I'm saying? We performing. So you know.
Well, so you said you started out watching off WWF. I did too, and I was a Hulkamaniac as well. How old were you when you started watching wrestling? Because the question I have is like, which wrestlers besides Hulk Hogan, like, did you like put on a pedestal as being, hey, I like this guy, and who are a couple of the guys that maybe go, and I hate this motherfucker?
I don't know, real young, like maybe like 6 or 7, I guess. I was real young, you know what I'm saying? Hulk Hogan, Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, who else? Rick Rude, love Rick Rude. I'm trying to think. Maybe I can't really none of them really struck me as like I hate this guy. You know?
Did you ever, as a kid, play with your friends and like do mock wrestling or like in the living room, jump off the couch and stuff? Like, who would you emulate?
I mean, I would emulate Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? And then once I started watching NWA, like I had like back in the day, they had like old AWA action figures too. And they had like the WWF ring was like a bigger one, and the AW. Do you remember the old AWA ring they had back in the day? It was like a small one. I remember.
The characters were like He-Man size.
Yeah. So I had all of that stuff. So yeah, of course, like I emulated Hulk Hogan when I was a kid. Like I think everybody did, you know.
So when you first started out, training and whatnot, who were like your big influences?
Damn, man, I'm drawing a blank tonight. I just knew that I wanted to do it. Like, so I started training in October of '99. So like I don't even remember when WCW had the cruiserweight division going on. Like what year was that? Like around when?
Let's see. I mean, Otani was the first champion in '96.
Okay.
And then it kind of got like 97, 98.
All right, so it had to be the WCW cruiserweight division, and also like old school New Japan. That was my influence, because you remember like back in the Super J Cup tournaments, it was like you had Wild Pegasus, you had Black Tiger, you had Liger, of course, you had Otani, Takaiwa. You know what I'm saying? You had all the old school New Japan junior heavyweight legends. So that was definitely part of my influence right there.
How did you find a wrestling school? Like what was your introduction into the business? Did you just look in the yellow pages? Did you meet somebody?
Nah, so like back then, like in the Philadelphia Daily News, it was this wrestling section like every Tuesday that this dude named Mad Dog Tierson had. So I would look at that every Tuesday, and then one Tuesday they had it was an ad in there about a school that was opening that Damon Feldman was opening. Damon Feldman was a boxer. He was a boxing promoter in the Philly area. So my brother took me down there and I signed up and I started training. So then I was training he had like all he had was like he had like a crash pad upstairs in a nightclub, right? So we were training there, learning how to bump. So then they took us down to like Kensington, a place called Hawkins. That's where like Nick Burke trained there a bit. Joker, like when Joker first started, he trained there. Like a lot of Philly cats, they trained down there. So we went there, and it was an actual ring. So that's where I started getting my training at Hawkins. You know, then just took it from there. And like I started learning as I went. Like I learned my basics there, and then I got in with the Samoans, started learning from them. So then like once I got into Chikara, I was learning the lucha style, and Quackenbush brought Skyda in, and we learned the lucha style, and then on and on from there, you know.
What was it like working with Quackenbush?
Quackenbush, he was real specific about what he wanted. Like with the show format, everything was detailed, you know what I'm saying? And we had to stick to everything. Like he was a stickler for that. Like back then, like I sort of like I was like when I was younger and green, I was the I was the smart ass, you know what I'm saying? So like a lot of the stuff, a lot of the structured environment that he had, like I would clown it a little bit, you know what I mean? But like years later, with the experience that I have now, like that stuff is important. So with hindsight being 2020, I didn't appreciate the stuff back then, you know. So but I appreciate it now because like when you constantly doing it, even if you don't want to, you constantly doing it, you sort of pick it up. And like years later, like all the stuff that you learned when you was younger, even if you were a smart ass, like it's in there. You learn it and you apply it, you know. So I'd say Quack was cool to work with, but you know, so I was a bit of a smart ass back then. So it was times where we didn't get along, you know.
Yeah. Real quick. So like when you first broke in, I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of stuff now, like we've talked to some of the veterans, like I mean, like 80s veterans and stuff like that. They talk about how the business has changed from being a more call it in the ring style to like everything is scripted. You know, with a lot of that Chikara, you know, the lucha stuff, some of it when it wasn't done like to that higher degree looked very scripted. Were you more the call it the ring style in the beginning, or was it everything planned in the back?
In the beginning, I was 100%. Everything was like put together in the back. You know, like I had like I didn't have the skill set to just go out there and just go on the fly and just let it fly. I couldn't do it. Like for years, like I just seemed foreign to me. It was like there's no way. Cause it'd be times where we in the back and we constantly going over the match, and then like old heads would be like, yo, you can't, if you keep doing that, you're gonna forget. Stop doing that. And of course we would get mad. We would get mad at the old heads. Like, what do they know? They just bitter, right? But you know what I'm saying? That's what we were saying, you know. But they were just trying to help us. They were trying to get us to expand our mind, you know what I'm saying, and to be able to go out there and like say like we call all the stuff in the back and the crowd not going for it. What do we do then? You know? So they were trying to get us to learn. So then like years later, I'm that old head now and I see these younger cats doing the same stuff I used to do, and I'm repeating what the old heads used to tell me. Go out there and just let it flow. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Based on your experience and your training, do you think that people today have the advantage in the way they're trained, or do you think that the style that you were trained at was a better style? Because you see new guys coming into the business and you see how they are after the training they've got. I know it's probably various trainers and different situations, but do you think it was better then, or do you think it's better now?
I think that I would say that I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag because when you think about it, the guys that are getting trained now, like if they're getting trained by people that know what they're doing and not just somebody that that got in the business, they got lucky or whatever, and now they're trying to teach the next generation where they don't have the experience, you know. If they're getting trained by somebody that knows what they're doing, you know what I'm saying, they have an advantage because like nowadays, it's a bit easier to get out there and get signed. Whereas like when I started, it was tough. It was harder, you know what I'm saying? Being a smaller guy, like that lane wasn't really there. So like everything that I've accomplished, I had to fight for. Whereas now, like guys can be my size or even smaller, and they can just go viral, and then they'll get picked up, you know.
Yeah.
But even like now, like the way it is now and how it was back then, like you'll have guys that'll appreciate everything that they're being told, all the criticism, and they'll apply it and get better, and then you'll have guys that'll be told they'll be told what to do to get better, and they don't want to hear it. It happens now, it happened then, you know what I mean? So it's all about the talent and how they respond to criticism and whether they're going to apply it or not, you know. It depends on the person. It's like a case by case basis, you know.
So I think the majority of people, their big first exposure to you was definitely CZW. So what was the connection from going from the Chikara school to CZW and really making CZW your home? And I mean, you're one. I mean, I still say, I mean, obviously you had your Zandigs and your Lobos and wife beaters, but I mean, you're kind of one of the godfathers of CZW. You know what I mean? Like that's when people talk about CZW, they talk about Black Jeez.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So before I got in CZW, I was doing like smaller indies, and for me, Joker, and a couple of other cats that was in my circle at the time, like our goal was just to get in CZW. Like we got to get in CZW. We got to get there. We have to. So when we got there, it was a big accomplishment. So we were doing CZW shows, and so since we were in CZW, we're wrestling more often, getting saying like getting that experience. So we Joker and I, we wanted to get in Chikara. So Smart Mark Video, Smart Mark Video was filming everything at the time. They was filming CZW. They were also filming Chikara. So Mike Burns was real cool with Quackenbush. So I probably went to Mike Burns. I don't really remember, but I do know that I sent a tape of me and Joker stuff to Quackenbush, and then Quackenbush liked it, and he brought us in, and we just took it from there. So we were CZW guys, and we were Chikara guys. So then, like, eventually, this was later on down the line. Once Chikara and CZW sort of merged together, then we were both,
What's your favorite kind of match to wrestle in? Singles matches, tag team matches, 3-man dances. What are there, like gimmick matches, death matches? If you got to pick which kind of match you would do tonight, which would you prefer?
If I could only choose one, it's singles matches. But I love tag team matches too, though. Because it's like it's just both situations are fun, you know what I mean? But I like, again, I would choose singles matches if I had to choose one, but tag team matches are not far behind. I used to hate like scramble matches, like 3-ways and 4-ways. I used to hate them, but now I like them now. But before I used to hate those things, man.
Why? Because they were just like chaotic and you just that how to like do the dance with it. We were talking about like the different types of matches, and I saw that you actually had a feud with a female wrestler. Can you tell us a little bit about wrestling a woman as opposed to a man, and how that might be different?
I mean, I haven't wrestled females in a long time, but when I was doing it, like I mean, it's like looking back, like the psychology wasn't the greatest, but it was entertaining to the audience though. So like when I would have matches with Lufisto at the time, like they were great matches because the crowd was into it, the energy level was good, and like we just clicked. And then also with Lufisto's gimmick wasn't like every other female,
Right.
Lufisto was doing death matches. Lufisto was wrestling guys. So we could put matches together like it's two guys wrestling, So but like what I know now as opposed to back then, like the matches would have still been great, but we would have switched up the psychology of it because both of us are more experienced. You know what I mean? That makes sense?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah.
Yeah, because Luffy was just such a fucking badass back then.
And it would have been a novelty
against other women. It didn't make sense because she had been built to that point where she was out there having matches with you and Steen and Nick Gage and everybody. So
she's still a badass, man. I just saw her. Yeah, I just saw her a couple weekends ago. We had a show in Delaware. She's still going strong, man.
I'm glad she got back into America and now that COVID's kind of let up and she can still show off. I mean, Independent Wrestling Hall of Famer, first class. Definitely. Yep. She was a big time female pioneer.
Yeah, definitely.
But speaking of pioneering, what about Blackout, man? What was the thought that went into forming Blackout with you and Ruckus and Robbie and everybody that was in that group? Chrissy Rivera and Joker was in there for a while, I think, as well.
Yeah, Kingston.
What was the thought on that? And then what was your feelings on how it all progressed over the years?
I mean, when it first started, like I was just happy to have a spot in CZW, and I was happy to have some focus put on me. So when it started, like the generals of it was Ruckus and Robbie Marino because they had the most seniority at CZW. So depending on who you ask, Zandig put us together or Ruckus put us together, you know. Whoever came up with it, it was a great idea. So they put us together and it just clicked. It just worked. Like we had that chemistry. You know what I'm saying? So like, and again, like me and Joker, we were still new to CZW, you know what I'm saying? So we were sort of relying on Ruckus's experience and his name value to really, you know what I'm saying, to really make it work. And then as we got more comfortable, all of us knew what our roles were, and it just kept flowing, man. It was a great time.
You started right about you said you started training in 97, right?
No. 99. Started in 99. Had my first match in February of 2000.
So you're right around that same era too, where like, dude, factions ruled the world. NWO, DX, Nation of Domination. The list goes on and on. Dude, what were your favorite factions to watch on the TV, on the big leagues? Corporate.
DX. I was a big DX fan. Definitely DX. Of course, everybody loved NWO, of course. But like in the early years, it was all about DX. It was definitely DX.
Yeah. One follow-up question to that. As you become a professional wrestler, when was the first time you were like really starstruck and you're like, man, I can't believe I'm doing a program with this guy, or I'm in the same locker room with this guy?
Man, it would have probably been first time I was in the same locker room as Homicide, because like me and Joker, like we looked up to the New York wrestlers. We looked up to the guys from the Doghouse. We looked up to Homicide and Low Key, his squad, all of those guys. So then like when we went, we spent a brief time at the Doghouse, like near the end of it, and like we both marked out about just being there, you know what I'm saying, being at the spot that those guys came from, you know what I mean? So and then like going from marking out for those guys, sort of looking up to those guys, to becoming colleagues and earning their respect, man. It was crazy, man. It's definitely crazy.
So I'm gonna do kind of a serious question because it's on my mind. Just because thinking about that era of CZW and remembering you in Cage of Death with, you know, JC Bailey, Chris Cash, you know, matches with Trent Acid, Justice Payne, you know, all these guys that are no longer with us through vices of their own, or, you know, the motorcycle wreck that took Chris. How did you stay away from those kind of vices? How did you keep yourself healthy, keep your mind right while you were, you know, running really hard in the business?
It was just never my thing, you know, and even with Blackout, you know what I mean, it was like heavily weed influenced or whatever. Like that weed was never really my thing. Like I've smoked it before, like everybody has, but like nowhere near as much as the gimmick sort of let on, you know. Right. It was just never my thing. Like the smoking and drinking, it was never my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not straight edge or anything, but I was never really a heavy drinker, and the drugs, you know what I'm saying, just wasn't my thing. So it was real easy for me to stay away from it, because like even before getting into wrestling, none of that was my thing, you know. So it was definitely easy.
Keeping with the serious tone, racism, ever encounter any negative interactions from fans, other wrestlers, promoters, anything?
Can you tell the story about that time the dude dropped the N-bomb on you at Tournament of Death?
Oh, okay. So yeah, definitely.
I guess that would be yes then.
Well, no. Here's the thing though. Like we know it exists in wrestling. We know it exists, but like it was never like it was never done to my face ever. Right? It's always done behind your back, and it's like when you're around certain people, you sort of get a vibe. You know what I'm saying? You get a vibe, but it was never like nobody ever said it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what I'm saying? It was never said, but I just know it exists. But as far as like when it happened at Tournament of Death, like at the time, like whenever I would come through the curtain, you know what I'm saying, I would just be out of control. Like that's what I was trying to get. That's the reaction I was always trying to get. Like I was just trying to like be the dude that would cause a riot to happen. Anytime I came out, I was just trying to like piss fans off.
You're asking for it.
Exactly. So I'm trying to rile fans up, cause like because like it was a time I don't even think wrestlers look at it this way anymore, but like it was like it would have been like a badge of honor to be that guy that come out there and cause fans to riot. You know what I'm saying? So so yeah, so that day, I think I probably encountered that fan like at arena shows too. So like I would always be riling him up, you know what I'm saying, trying to get him to say it. So we go out there, I'm doing my thing, I'm all up in front of the guardrail, you know what I'm saying, doing my thing, and he said it, right? So in my brain, I won. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna take it up a notch. I'm gonna get on the mic and just have fun with it. So you know what I'm saying, like so I said what I said, riled the crowd up, you know what I'm saying. Then we got like a uncomfortable vibe going on, and then that just made like the energy of the match even better. So after we finished, so when I got on the mic and was talking my shit, like the dude, his girl started crying. So that made it even worse. Because as soon as she started crying, that's when I'm gonna start digging in even more. You know what I mean? So after we had the match, we go to the back. So then everybody's coming up to me, apologizing and everything, and I'm like, "What are you apologize for?" Cause of what he said. I'm like, "Yo, that's all part of the show, baby. That's what I wanted." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the boys thought that I was really mad, and I wasn't. I was just in character. You know what I'm saying? And that's a win too. Like when you can convince the boys that it's real, then that's a victory in itself. You know? That was a fun time. Loved it. So then after the show, I guess they went crying to Maven and DJ. So they wanted me to apologize, right? So
The guy
I'm
calls
like,
you the guy.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
They went to
Yeah.
Maven?
The
Yeah,
guy calls
they
you
went.
the-
They even
guy
went.
calls- The guy
they
calls
probably-
you the N-word.
So the dude probably went to DJ, and then DJ probably didn't feel comfortable coming to me, so DJ went to Maven. Like Maven was always the go-between. Like when DJ didn't want to like deal with me because he thought I might flip out on him, he'd go to Maven. You know what I'm saying? and then Maven would present it to me. So Maven's like, look, they want you to apologize. I'm like, yo, for what? Like, you know what he called me? Why I'm gonna apologize? Because this girl is crying and all that. I'm like, come on, man, come on. Why I gotta apologize? So they didn't get an apology. You know what I'm saying? Because like it was always like when fans would start complaining, they would be worried that the fans not going to come back. So that's money lost. But I'm like, yo, they're going to come back. You know what I'm saying? They say they're not. They're going to come back, and they always came back.
Because they want to see you get your ass kicked.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So yep. So they would always come back. You know what I'm saying? And then like sometimes they would bring people with them. So that's a win for us. You know what I'm saying? But it was constant. It was constant. Like I got pulled to the side so many times. Like, yo, can you tone it down a little bit? Okay, no problem. Then I'll go out there and get even more riled up. I'll rile them up even more. It was like a monthly thing, you know. It was fun times.
So you said earlier that the boys don't work so hard to get the riots like you used to. And I remember like I came up on Tennessee Indies, you know, for like 15 years, and I remember it was like, oh, did you get Charles to lose his mind this week? You know, like, do you think that's how do I put this without? Do you think it's because the boys are softer than they used to be, and they don't want to deal with that, or are they protecting their brand, or is it somewhere in between?
All right, so I wouldn't say that they don't work hard to get that riot reaction. I don't think that the guys these days like look at that as a badge of honor. You know what I mean? I don't want guys to think that I'm saying, oh, y'all not working hard, because guys are working hard. It's just different now. I think that like now with how the world is, with how like any little thing can get you canceled, I think a lot of guys sort of like stay away from it. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's crazy, man. You sort of have to, but you can still toe the line. You can still dip your foot in possible cancellation and then just pull it back. It's like you just gotta adapt to the situation. Like and the way I feel is like while everybody is running from heat, I'm diving towards it. You know, because it's entertainment, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're going to piss these people off, but that's just, it's all part of the show. You know what I mean? Like, it's like now you can't even, it's like you'll sort of like it's frowned upon to like say like you on the mic, right? And you might see a fat girl in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And then you already know back in the day, like you already know what you're going to say on the mic.
Easiest target. Easiest target.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Or a fat dude. You know what I'm saying? You already know what you're going to say. It's like nowadays, if you do it, you're going to get pulled to the side and they're going to frown on it now, you know? But again, with me, if I'm on that mic, you already know what you're going to get. Like I can adapt to like family friendly or whatever, but like every so often, if I see that easy target, I'm going for it. You know, I'm definitely going for it.
Gotcha.
Well, you brought up talking, so let's talk about promos. When you went to wrestling school, was that something that was addressed back then? Who did you look up to on the mic, and what's your psychology of promoing?
It was never like when I was getting trained. It was never focused on. It was never focused on like being able to talk. It was never focused on. So for years, I was scared to get on the mic. Like so like if we backstage or whatever, I would be naturally funny, popping the boys or whatever. But when it was time to like cut a promo, it was I was just shy. It was horrible. But like, and I looked up to great talkers, man. I looked up to talkers like Jake the Snake, definitely Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard. You know, I looked up to like all the great talkers, but like when it was time for me to talk, it just wasn't there. I just didn't have it. And then like eventually, I just got it. You know what I'm saying? I looked up to Steve Corino too. Steve Corino's promos were always money. You know what I mean? So what happened was like this was it might have been like maybe 2008 something, whatever year it was. So we were down at the Samoan school in Florida, and they had like a WWE tryout, right? So John Laurinaitis was there. So it was like the standard type of tryout down there where you do stuff in the ring, you cut promos. So it's like everybody had to cut like a 30 to 60 second promo. And when it was my turn to do it, I dropped the ball completely in front of everybody. It was embarrassing as hell. Like Greg Excellent was there, Adam Cole was there, DJ High was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you, like I was really down on myself. And then like the homework to myself was to learn how to cut promos, was to not be scared to talk in front of people. So then like once we got back, that's what I started focusing on, man. And like Greg Excellent and Adam Cole, man, they can confirm that. Like once that happened, it was like a change. Like that gear shifted, and I focused on character. I focused on promos, and then it was on from there. Then like then that's when like the other stuff started getting easier because like I wasn't scared anymore, and I was focusing on character and like just being an asshole. Because most of the time I was a heel. So it was like I was just focusing on that one thing. And once it clicked, that was it.
Well, just one follow-up question, dude. Today, modern day, who do you think's the best talker in the business today?
Let me see. I want to be arrogant and be me, but you can't choose yourself. But I mean, obviously MJF is money. Obviously MJF is money. Obviously CM Punk still has it, you know what I mean? Just wait until whenever CM Punk turns into a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Then he's gonna be top dog on promos. Eddie Kingston, definitely. Chris Jericho still has it. Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson now. There's a lot of them, man. That's the cool thing. Guys are really showcasing their talent on the mic, and I love it. I'm a promo guy, man, so I just love it when guys are able to talk, because that's where the money is at. Like everybody can wrestle, but it's about getting that character across. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like that constant argument that we all have: who's better, Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels? There we go again. You know what I mean? So it's like. I could go all. Y'all might want to stop me now because I can go on and on when it comes to like promos and stuff like that.
We love right here.
It's all about the promo, man.
So you were there. I mean, basically beginning to what I call the end of CZW. I mean, whatever this thing is that's running now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask you your opinion on that later. Don't worry. So from the Zandig era to the DJ Hyde era, what was the big transition like? Was there even a huge transition internally? And which did you prefer? And which do you think was better for your career?
Well, the thing is, when Zandig was still there, DJ, he was always wanting to do more. So there was a time when, and I've been around DJ since he started too. So like from the time he started, like DJ had this thing where he always wanted to be looked at as the boss. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't always go about it the right way. You know what I mean? So when Zandig was still here, DJ wanted to be more hands-on. He wanted to be a trainer. So Zandig let him do that. DJ sort of like shadowed Zandig so that he could learn. You know what I mean? And then like DJ learned, but his problem was he would always go about things the wrong way, and he would end up making himself look bad. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like the transition, we all knew that eventually Zandig was going to leave and DJ was going to take over, because it was a lot of times where Zandig wouldn't even be at the shows. He wouldn't show up anymore. You know, so like Mike Burns would be running things. DJ would be the go-to guy, you know. So when the transition actually happened, it wasn't really a big surprise, you know. And as far as like my career, like it was better for me when DJ was in charge, because when you gotta think about it, when Xander was around, I was still sort of new. I hadn't really earned my stripes. Like once Blackout started and we started doing things, yeah, then I started getting a little bit more freedom. But I didn't really start getting focused on until it was DJ's time. And I even had to fight for that. Like a lot of the stuff that I was able to do, it was because I fought for it, or it was because like I would want to do it. It would be like, nah, that's not a good idea, so I would do it anyway, you know. Like if so, I got the chance to go to Japan twice in the DJ High era. I didn't get the opportunity when Zandig was around, because like when Zandig was around, like depending on what the real story was, Big Japan didn't want to do business with Zandig anymore. At least that's what I was always told. So once DJ took over, they started doing business again with Big Japan, so I was able to go. So I would say the DJ High era was better for me, because I was able to do more. I was able to like get more opportunity, you know. So
real quick, so to that end, do you think DJ caught a lot of shit because since he had been around Zandig for so long and been, you know, I guess that right-hand man, so to speak, he thought he could be Zandig and didn't have that respect?
Exactly, that's exactly what it was. He thought that because his title is CZW owner, that means something, when it doesn't mean anything if you don't have respect of the boys. So like I said, like he always had a habit of doing things the wrong way. Like when he took over, he asked a bunch of us what should I do, and like a bunch of us gave him told him what he should do, how he should handle things, how he should handle himself, how he should go about things, and he never listened. So he never got that respect ever. And it was like because he's the boss of the company, a lot of people would look at CCW as a clown company because they have no respect for the boss. And he brought that on himself because he handled things the wrong way. So that's what it was.
Let's talk about your character. You started off as a Sabian, eventually become Black Jeez.
Right.
Tell us about that evolution, how you come up with your ring gear, your ring music, your finishers. Just tell us a little bit about what your thought about who you are in that ring.
Well, with Sabian, like that name, I mean, that was just a name that I thought was cool at the time. Like originally, like early on, I was using Chris Sabian, and I stole that name from Kevin Spacey in that movie, The Negotiator. It just sounded to me, it just sounded like a cool name. You know what I'm saying? But then as I kept wrestling, like the name just felt corny. You know what I'm saying? Like Sabian. It just felt real corny. I didn't want it anymore. So I wanted something different. So I just started going by the Black Jesus Sabian. It just seemed cooler, you know? So then I couldn't use the black. I couldn't use. I couldn't say Black Jesus anymore because like my mom, my grandma, my aunt said like you can't be calling yourself Jesus. You can't do it. So you know what I'm saying. So
Black Jesus.
When
yeah,
Mama says you got to stop, you got to stop.
exactly. Can't do it. Can't do it. Mama's boy. You know. So I just shortened it to Black G's. It just felt better. It seemed cooler. You know what I'm saying. It just fit me better. And then as far as the gear, like I just always wanted something that was hot. You know what I'm saying? I just never like with me, I just never want to come across corny. Like when people are corny, I tune out. I got no interest. So like it was just a matter of not being corny. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thought process with gear. That's my thought process with everything. Like you gotta stand out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come across like you the shit. You can't be corny. That's my process as far as everything. Don't be corny. And that's just how I was brought up, man. Like I'm from West Philly. So like when I came up, you had to be fly. You couldn't be corny. Like the worst thing in the world is to be corny. You know what I'm saying? A lot of your listeners, they can understand that. Maybe some of them don't, because maybe some of them are corny. Maybe some of them are nerds. But cats that are fly, cats. Yeah. No offense, bro. But like
That's okay, man. I
but
take
like,
it.
but the thing is, cats that are fly, you know what I'm saying? Like they understand. You know, they understand the mentality. So that's what it is. Don't be corny.
Finishers. How'd you come up
Um,
with your finishers that you use?
I mean, it's just a matter of like just seeing something I like, that obviously somebody else has done. You know what I mean? We all steal moves from each other. Like when everybody was on the double stomp, you know what I'm saying? The best one that had it was low key. Everybody was stealing the low key double stomp. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw him do it. It was cool. It's a cool move. So all right, cool. I'm gonna do it. Same as everybody else. The frog splash though is because my favorite wrestler of all time is Eddie Guerrero, so that's why I use frog splash. Everything else is it's just a cool move that I want to do. That's not really much thought. It's just a cool move, so I'm gonna do it.
Thank you, man.
I would like to say thank you for introducing me to Meek Mill, though. By the way,
Oh
I
hell
always,
yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
always
yeah,
wanted to say that.
and interest music. Like I'm a big rap fan, so like the music sets the tone, man. So I always got to come out to some trap music. You know what I'm saying? It has to be like the music I use. It has to be something that just comes across as violent, something that'll like turn the vibe from being quiet and corny to being like, damn, a fight or a shootout will happen at any minute. So like that's the thought process with music. And like once I started using Meek, that was perfect. You know what I mean? So that man, like I feel like a lot of people in the wrestling world, like they found out who Meek Mill was because I was always using his music.
Literally, like I was literally. It was so funny. I was driving home from work today, and
Uh-huh.
Dreams and Nightmares came on, and I was like, "Yes, sir."
Hell
That
yeah.
was literally what's
Hell
in my
yeah.
head. I'm like, "You got to remember to thank Jeez for this later."
Yeah, man. Like Meek's music is hot, man. At least his old stuff, man. Like his newer stuff, it's alright, but I like his older stuff more, you know. But I'm gonna put you on to somebody else though, bro. You gotta start listening to Conway the Machine, bro. You'll thank me later. Conway, best rapper out right now, bro.
You think I'm playing, and I'm not going to Spotify right now to save him.
Conway the Machine.
Yep, Conway the Machine. So like the group is Griselda. It's Conway the Machine, Benny the Butcher, and Westside Gun. Best one out right now is Conway the Machine.
On it. So my other question that I had been thinking about
Uh-huh.
was, you did Cage of Death. You did the 10-man blackout versus
Team
Chris
Cash.
Cash.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then you did the 4-way for the CZW title.
right.
What's your thoughts on death matches? Do you think it's kind of overdone now? Because there are whole death match companies, like, or is it one of those things where it should be saved for a big moment like a Cage of Death used to be?
I mean, you can't. It's a market for it. So, like, if it's a market for it, people are going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of them as far as me doing them. Like, I don't have any interest in doing them. But it's a lot of cats that are talented at it. You know what I'm saying? But it's a dangerous thing. You know what I'm saying? At any time, you can lose an eye. You know what I'm saying? You can get real fucked up. But you can die. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I don't frown on it. You know what I mean? Because it's a market for it. Fans love it, so people are going to do it. I'm just not interested in doing it myself. Like, I can dabble in some hardcore if the story calls for it. But as far as like the light tubes and all the other stuff, I'm not doing that. You know.
And whose idea was the weed whacker versus Sozio?
That was Sozio's idea.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I never used it before, so he suggested it. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah, do it. And I was like, nah, I don't want it. He's like, do it. He's like, fucking do it. I'm like, all right. So then when it came time to do it, and I'm hearing the reaction of the crowd, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm liking it now. So like I'm using it, and he's selling it, but he's like, all right, motherfucker, stop. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, sure, it's your idea. Take more, you know?
Not everybody's Nick Mondo and just fucking gets off on it.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of like when Undertaker threw Mick Foley off the cage, dude, and it was like, throw me, and he's like, okay, fucking down you go.
Yeah. I know, right?
So you said like you did that, you flopped on that promo in 2008. So you're back in WWE in 2012. You had a handicap match with Ryback. Can you tell us about that, how you got called up for that and your experience there?
So with the Ryback match, so I went in there, you know what I'm saying? Vince was like, look, kid, we know what you do. We love you. We want to sign you. But we want you to put this kid Ryback over. No, that's not what happened.
That story.
We got to let you work with this greenhorn, baby.
Nah, so it was just a matter. I got contacted. They asked if I was available for 2 dates. I think Raw was in New York, and then SmackDown was in Baltimore. So I just went to the building. Had no idea what I was going to do, but then as the day went on, like we were told we was going to be working with Ryback, and I had met him earlier in the day in catering. He was a cool dude, you know. So then when we found out we was wrestling Ryback, we just put the match together. Arn Anderson was the producer or whatever, and it was cool. You know what I'm saying? And like Ryback, like he was real professional. He was safe too. So it was stuff that he wanted to do, and like I suggested a couple things to him, and he liked it. You know what I'm saying? And we used it. It was one of the spots where he wanted to buckle bomb me into the corner. Like I came up with it. So we did that. And then it was another. Oh, and then the one move where I ran towards him and I flipped up into his shoulders and went down like I was going to run to him, but he pulled me back and powerbombed me. Like that's a spot that we would all do on the indies. You know what I mean? And like that's a spot that makes him look even better. So I suggested that, and he loved it and he wanted to do it. So like it was a really good experience. You know, definitely.
So literally within like weeks of that, you're on Impact,
right?
Doing the Rashad Cameron gimmick. What was that like? The time you spent at Impact, because that was right in like the heat of the Hogan era too, right? So
yeah.
What was it like working at Impact? Did you have any interactions with Hogan and Bischoff, or was that kind of like they're up here and they don't really worry about the X division?
I talked to Bischoff one time. It was about the promo that I had to do on my debut, and all it was like he was just like when you do your promo, don't have that wrestler voice that a lot of people have. Just talk normal and get yourself over. That's all he said. He was a real cool dude. Like I met Hogan, and like that was a mark out moment for me. I'm like, damn, I've been to Vince all this time, and like for the most part, I've been pretty cool as far as like not being starstruck. But when I met Hogan, I was a little bit starstruck. I sort of hid it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was hiding it, but it was definitely a mark out moment for me. And like the experience at Impact, it was cool. I just wanted more. You know what I mean? And like I didn't get signed or anything, but not getting signed, that like I was sort of down about it for a while. You know what I'm saying? But thinking back, maybe I wasn't ready. At the time I felt I was, but maybe I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? And like for years I just wanted to go there just to prove to myself that I could get over there. You know what I mean? So you know, that's what it was.
So I have a question coming off the Hogan thing, and I've
Uh-huh.
talked to people off air about this stuff. I never asked one of our guests, what's your opinion on doing the whole pictures in the locker room thing? Like if you meet somebody and it's like, this dude is cool, I want him to remember this. Because I know a lot of locker rooms and like a lot of the veterans frown on that. And now I talk to a lot of younger guys and they're like, hell yeah, I was in the locker room with Bobby Eaton and I got a picture. You know what I mean? What's your thought on that?
That's the thing. That's why, like, that's the one thing that this generation is better than my generation. Because in my generation, we were always told that you're a mark if you did that. So like so we wouldn't do it. We would want to, but we wouldn't. We didn't want to be called a mark. Like I remember back way back CZW. This was back when Teddy Hart was first coming around. So you remember how popular Teddy was then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we in the locker room and we all want to get like the boys. We want to get pictures with each other. So I remember Dan Dick pulled me to the side. He's like, never do that again. You're like a mark. You know what I'm saying? And like that's how it was then. But the generation now, they don't care, and you shouldn't. Like these are memories. You know what I mean? So if you want to take pictures, you're not we're all marks, bro. We are marks. You know what I'm saying? It's not bad.
The business because they hate wrestling.
Exactly. So like that's I don't frown on it. You know what I'm saying? So like now, even now, like now, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just be funny about it. Like at NWA, like it's people that I looked up to. You know what I'm saying? Like Mickey James, Melina, Pope, all of them. I look up to a lot of these people. So like just to be funny, I'll go up to them like, hey, can I get a mark picture with you? And we just laugh it off. You know what I mean? And it's usually, and it's usually like when you ask, you know what I'm saying, they're cool about it. So they're like, who's the mark? I'm like, well, I'm the mark. So they're like, no, I'm the mark. All right, we're both marks. Then we just laugh it off. We take the picture, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't frown on that at all. Like you're supposed to have fun. You're supposed to have memories. Like, you don't have to be like, things shouldn't be like, all extra serious and like you shouldn't be on eggshells. Just you going out there to have fun. You know what I mean? So have fun.
Did you have any interactions with Magnus Adis when he was in TNA?
No, not too much. Like I have more interaction with him now, but in TNA I didn't. Aside from like greetings, like hey, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you. That aside from that type of stuff, but you know, nothing other than that.
When you saw him back then and you see him now, does it all compute? Does it make sense that he achieved what he achieved, like being a former NWA champion?
Yeah,
like,
definitely look at him. He looks like a star. He carries himself like a star. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the position that he's in for a reason. He worked hard for it, you know, and he deserves it.
Yeah, same scenario. Matt Cardona, current NWA champion. I mean, he kind of went from, you know, jobber in WWF who never got a break. He gets fired from the company unceremoniously, and he's like on fire in the wrestling world. I mean, thoughts on Matt Cardona?
Matt Cardona is the blueprint for betting on yourself and never letting anybody deter you from what you want to do. Like he's the blueprint. He's the cheat code. Like anybody if anybody ever has a question on should you follow your instincts and not listen to people that try to be negative, look at Matt Cardona. Enough said.
Yeah, believe that.
So what are your thoughts now that since you grew up watching NWA, now that you're part of NWA and a pretty big part? I mean, you know, seeing the church's money on my fucking TV every week is wild to me. So how wild is it to you now that you grew up watching it, now you're there?
It's still wild to me. It's still wild to me, and I'm still marking out for it. Look at this. Look at this right here.
73 years.
Yeah, I mean, like, bro, like I said earlier, like I was a huge WWF fan, but when I started watching NWA, I loved it because it felt like it was real. You know what I'm saying? Like the Horsemen beating people up in locker rooms, beating people up in parking lots. Like, remember when they broke Dusty Rhodes' hand with the bat? Like,
arm in the door. I was just thinking.
Yeah, man. Like, bro, like that's the company that I fell in love with, and like, to be a part of it now, like, man, I feel like I can accomplish everything now. You know what I'm saying? It's a dream come true. And like, it's just no complaints, man. I love it. Love every minute of it.
So
Well, I don't got any more questions, but I just wanted to say thank you, man. Thank you for coming on the show, dude. Personally.
No, definitely, man. Thanks for having me, man. I love doing this stuff, man. Cause like you guys are helping us out, man. You guys are helping us get our voice out there, you know what I'm saying? Tell our stories, man. So on behalf of everybody, man, we all appreciate it, man. Don't let the asshole wrestlers, you know what I'm saying, make you feel like that you're not helping us, because you're definitely helping us.
So I'm gonna throw my last question, the one I like to ask everybody. When it's all said and done, and you know, you're wherever you end up, what do you want people to remember about Black Jeez?
All right, I want people to remember that I worked hard and I fought for everything that I've gotten. Like, when I got into wrestling, the only thing I ever wanted to do was wrestle in Japan at Oregon Hall, and I did it. So like everything else after that, it was just like extra. You know what I'm saying? It was the goal was Japan. I did it, and like everything else is just a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And then to be in NWA, that shit is crazy to me. You know what I mean? So I want people to remember that, like I worked hard, I did things my way, because like as you coming up, man, there's always people that want to tell you that you can't do that or you shouldn't do it this way. Don't do it that way. You'll get heat, brother. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I've done it my way. I never come on, my dog is getting in the way. Get out of here. So like I never had to like snake anybody to get anything. I never had to like manipulate anybody. It was all done my way, professionally, and like I can look in the mirror and love what I see. You know what I'm saying? I never snaked anybody. And I'm always trying to help people. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I want people to remember, that I worked hard and I did things my way and I did things the right way. And I accomplished like the goals that I wanted to accomplish, I accomplished them.
Good deal, man. Well, last segment of the show, we always let you take full screen, push your socials, push whatever you got going on in the future, man. I got to let you know. I know I said this earlier, but like, this is the coolest shit in the world to me. Like, you have no idea. Like talking to the fucking dude I used to watch on fucking VHSs. So this is so cool to me. But
Cool,
appreciate
man.
you being on, man. And
Yeah, seriously, man.
whatever you want to push, I will hopefully be seeing you in 2 weeks at Crockett Cup. So
Cool, definitely. All right, so Saturday night, On Point Wrestling down in Deptford, New Jersey at Super Crazy Training Facility is Black Jeez versus Jay Curcio. March 12th in Queens, New York for NEW. I believe it's New Evolution Wrestling. March the then I got Crockett Cup. Damn, I can't forget. And we got 2 nights of the Crockett Cup, March 19th and 20th, followed by 3 nights of NWA tapings. You can follow me, my schedule, everything that I'm doing. All my socials is the same. Jeez 215, JEEZ 215. And I mean, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support. You know what I'm saying? I'm still working hard, still accomplishing everything. Like I said, I feel like I can walk into any company and take over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the motivation. I still got that fire burning. You know what I mean? And we still gonna keep it moving till the wheels fall off. You know. And I appreciate y'all for having me on.
dude, super cool having you. Thank you again, Jeez.
Absolutely, man. Thank
Appreciate
you for coming,
being on the
dude.
show, man.
Anytime. Thank
All
you.
right, man. Well, holla at you, man. Have a good one.
All right,
Peace out,
cool.
man.
Yep.
That's so fucking cool.
Dude, I know what I
I
know.
just got to talk to Jeez for a fucking hour. Y'all don't even understand. Like, how rad that is for me.
I think I'm getting to know you pretty well, Nick, dude. And when you're legitimately stoked, dude, it's like you get this, like you don't get like you get like,
Oh,
and that's what you've been.
I mean, it's not a joke, dude. I watched every Cage of Death on VHS for like years. Like my go-to when I'm like, I don't know what to watch on IWTV is to pull up old CZW. Like, it's crazy to me that this is what we get to do on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
but anyway, and hopefully I'll be seeing that man live and in person in 2 weeks at Crockett Cup. Ricky, I know you watched the show. get on it. Thank you.
I just gotta say, man, dude, it's so cool, dude. When we have these guys on, guys like Jeeves, dude, it's like they come on and they're like so candid, dude, and to hear their stories and to hear their point of view, dude, it's like, man, it's just like we're really, like, he used the word blessed, dude. We're really blessed to have good guests like that, dude.
Dude, this whole experience. By the way, for anybody wondering why Matt isn't with us, it's his son's birthday.
Happy
He got a
birthday.
pass.
How-
Happy birthday to little Tommy, the
Happy
Panda
birthday,
Cub.
Tommy.
I hope you enjoyed the Batman in the arcade, you crazy kid.
So what do we got going next week, homie?
Next week, we have got former Iowa Hawkeye football star, current GCW star, Southern Underground Pro Superstar, a guy whose match we sponsored at True Believers. Next week, our guest is one called Manders. It'll be a crazy episode. Everybody be sure to check that out. I know you've obviously listened to the show because we're at the end of the show, but definitely check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud,
Did you say
MySpace.
Twitter?
Check out our oh, hold on. I knew I forgot something. Robbie,
I'm trying to get us a Pornhub account, but
don't do that. Definitely do what it says on the bottom, because I forgot to click the banner at the beginning of the show, and follow us on Twitter at Uncut_podcast, on TikTok at Uncut_podcast. Follow me on both of those. So same socials with this screen name at the Ace Nick White. If you want to follow Robbie on TikTok, you can. It's terrifying. But definitely follow him on Twitter at RobOngle1974. And even though he's not here, I am contractually obligated to tell you all to follow Matt Minnick on Twitter at LovePanda. Follow him on TikTok at LovePanda24x48. He's got like 7,000 followers or something now. He's super popular and he's cool. I think that's everything.
dude,
I'm winded.
you're a machine.
How many times did I get it in on the other podcast last night? Like 5. I can do this all day long. I'm getting business cards made next.
That's
So I don't have to say it anymore. I can just hold the card up to the monitor. But we will see you guys next week with one called Manders. Robbie.
Great.
Oh my God.
No,
Okay,
what's
hold
up?
on. I gotta focus. I gotta get ready.
Let me get ready.
Yeah, flex. Get ready to flex. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Roberto.
Yo.
How many clicks is it, buddy?
1 and 2.